High above an endless swirl of blue, a white wingtip parts the air, and the world seems to pause with it. Picture that wing, long and steady, tracing slow arcs over a silver sea. This is the wandering albatross, Diomedia exulans, a bird built for patience and breadth. Before we begin, a quiet note. These birds nest on remote islands. Please do not seek out or share exact breeding locations. Observe with care from vetted sources and let professionals protect the places they call home. In that moment, we see nature's quiet wisdom. The wandering albatross lives on the great sweep of the Southern Ocean, a landscape of wind and swell that can feel both infinite and intimate if you let your mind unfold into it. Their range arcs across cold seas, from islands near Antarctica to subantarctic cliffs where grass meets stone. Imagine lonely coasts, wind that tastes like metal and salt, and a bird that measures distance not by haste, but by how steadily it can ride the air. Life begins for an albatross not in a hurry, but on a timetable of patience. They return to distant islands that are often empty most of the year, arriving to rebuild or tidy a nest made of tussock grass and pebbles. Unlike many birds, wandering albatrosses breed at long intervals. Pairs may lay a single egg every 1 or 2 years, and incubation can be measured in weeks and shared effort. Both parents take turns, standing sentinel through wind and drizzle, keeping the egg warm. Think of those early days as a slow, careful choreography, every movement deliberate, every shift in position a tiny promise. When a chick finally arrives, it is fed with endurance rather than speed. Parents make long voyages to distant waters, returning with nourishing stomach oil and squid, a kind of concentrated sustenance that can fuel a growing bird through rough spells. Growth is gradual. Chicks are not hurried into flight. Along the way, the biggest threats are simple and honest. Storms that can drown foraging grounds, years when prey is scarce, and the ever-present challenge of finding enough food across a shifting sea. Yet the story here is not tragedy, but resilience, the child of vast voyages, learning, slowly, to read the sky. As adults, wandering albatrosses are marvels of energy-efficient travel. Their wings are long enough that when fully extended, they can measure over 3 meters across, more than most viewers expect. They use a technique called dynamic soaring, a clever dance with wind gradients, where each pass across the wind extracts a little more energy, allowing long, nearly effortless glides. Imagine a sail that never needs reefing, skimming ocean swells and angling precisely to harvest gusts. Foraging is patient and patient again. They sample wide ocean patches for squid and fish, following currents and the small dramas of the sea surface. It's less a sprint and more an endurance art. And yes, in a way, these wings are ocean wings, built for a life where distance is routine and stillness is rare. Love, for the wandering albatross, moves on a long clock. Courtship can be a multi-year conversation of dances, bill clapping, and mutual preening. Pairs return to one another with rituals that look almost ceremonial. A slow approach, a low courtship call, a careful touch of beaks. These are not hurried infatuations, but promises written in posture and patience. Many pairs stay together across seasons, trading the heavy work of incubation and chick rearing with a trust that develops over time. There is a beautiful dignity in that pace, the kind of fidelity that matches the bird's long wing beat. In the broader ocean story, wandering albatrosses matter as connectors. They move nutrients between places, scatter seeds from floating debris, and link distant islands with their travel. They also encounter human systems, fisheries, shipping lanes, and plastic that rides the currents. Here is the factual note, spoken plainly. Bycatch in longline fisheries and marine debris are meaningful threats. But remedies are not one-size-fits-all. If you want to help, consider supporting vetted conservation organizations that work regionally, choose seafood certified by credible sustainability programs, and back policies that reduce bycatch through tested gear modifications. Avoid simplistic DIY fixes. Support expert-led, place-sensitive actions and the groups that do them. That balance of honesty and hope is, I think, part of stewardship. Now I'd like to leave you with 2 minutes of space, a listening window to the distant wind and wave, to imagine a white wing passing overhead, and to feel the scale of the sea. During this time, allow the ocean to speak in its own quiet way. Breathe with it, let your attention widen, and notice any small thoughts that come unbidden. 2-minute ambient listening window begins now. Welcome back. If you held that stillness, you may have felt how patient travel reshapes perspective. The wandering albatross teaches us that movement need not be frantic to be purposeful, and that fidelity to partner, to sea, to a rhythm of seasons is itself a kind of stewardship. If this story gave you a moment of calm or a new way of seeing the ocean's long conversations, I invite you to stay connected with Avian Tranquility. Subscribe to the channel to keep these single bird stories afloat. Share this episode with someone who loves the sea, and visit our show notes for vetted links to conservation groups and further reading. Thank you for listening. And there, for now, we leave the wandering albatross, traveler of wind and patient keeper of ocean highways.